My name is Shane Sparks, and I got a million stories to tell y'all about this crazy dance industry. One of the things that I want to tell y'all and share with y'all is my experience of doing You Got Served. Everybody, everywhere I go, talk about that movie. It started my life, the best movie ever. All the dancing there was incredible. B2K, all this crazy stuff. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, when I first got the script to the movie, Chris Stokes came to me and said, "Yo, Shane, I got this movie that I want to do." He didn't have a title for it yet, but he gave it to me. He was like, "You're gonna play Marcus Houston's role. That was gonna be my role." He was like, "You're gonna play this role, so learn these lines." I was like, "All right, cool." So I learned the lines, and we was working with B2K at the time. Dave Scott had this group called B2K, and I don't want to go too far into B2K, but he had this group called B2K who was the coldest group that you ever see, boy band. If y'all know who they are, you know what I'm talking about. So B2K was in the process of blowing up. So what happened was they dropped a single and something happened where it postponed the whole movie for 1 year. And I remember Chris called me up. He was like, "Shane, it's time." So everything flipped. And I remember him calling me in. He said, "Come up to the office." And it was me, Dave Scott, and a couple of other people. We all sitting at the table. He said, "Okay, this is what it's going to be called." And he was coming up with all these names. They were all dumb. And he was like, "What do you want to call it? What do y'all say?" I said, "Well, back in the day, we used to say, 'You got served' if we beat somebody." He was like, "That's the name. You Got Served, that's the name." I was like, "Dope, okay." Never got any money for it, never got any credit for it. But that was my idea. So what happened was it's crazy because I got hired to do the choreography. Then Dave Scott was hired already, but I didn't know yet. So it was me, Dave Scott, and it was another choreographer called Rob Hoffman. Y'all might know Rob Hoffman. Rob Hoffman is like a beast. He's a white boy. He's a beast. And I don't want to go into his resume. You either know him or you don't. But so he calls us in. He says, "Yo, Shane, we want you to choreograph this movie, hold this big audition, and we're going to make the best movie in the world." And I remember saying to myself, like, there's moments in your life where you know things are about to change. You feel me? So when we was in the meeting, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, is this it? And I remember going to the audition. And it was the first time I was a part of a big audition. I remember going to the audition, and I remember sitting there seeing every dancer that I ever looked up to, worked with, or wanted to work with in front of me, giving me what they got, 100%. And I'm gonna tell you a story about Mad Chad. Y'all know Mad Chad? Go look him up. Mad Chad is probably one of the sickest poppers, and he has this robot style. I'm not sure what he calls it, but go look up Mad Chad. He's literally one of the sickest animator, poppers, robot dancers I've ever seen in my life. He comes in there, looks like a model, looks like he could play Superman. He comes in there, and Chris is like, "Who's this?" I was like, "This is Mad Chad." Chris sitting back, and he's just looking at him. Mad Chad goes in there, woof, 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 killing it. We like, woo! Everybody screaming, going crazy. Chris comes over to me and sit down. He says, "You like him?" I was like, "Yeah, he cold." He was like, you sure?" He's like, "Something about him, Shane, I don't know." I was like, "Chris, that boy is sick." He did not understand what I was trying to tell him. And he passed on him. Now go watch Step Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever Step Up, and see who turns that movie out every time he comes on screen. Mad Chat. So beyond that, so we holding auditions. We got some of the sickest dancers that are coming in. In the process of this whole audition, I get a phone call. And when you watch the movie You Got Served, there's credits at the beginning of it. What does it say? Choreographer, Dave Scott, Shane Sparks. They tried to take that away from me. Okay, it was crazy because I remember getting a call from one of the producers, and he said, "You're going to get a call from an agency, and they're going to try to tell you to take your name off the front of the credits and put it in the back." He said, "If you do that, Shane, you're going to lose everything." He said, "Because nobody cares about the credits at the back. When you do your credits, when they call you, make sure you keep it in the front. You keep it in the front, you keep all your credit." And I was a little nervous because I thought it was one of those situations where, you have something dope and then you lose it because you want to stand your ground. That's what I thought was about to happen. So I was a little nervous, but I did. And I respect this guy who told me that, and I respected him then. And now I'm like, he was a G for that because nobody else was calling me up. But it was Dave Scott's agency calling me, telling me, lose the title in the front of the movie, put it in the back. Dave Scott is the choreographer, and his name should be in the front. I was like, excuse me, I'm the choreographer too. And I'm thinking to myself, we're in this studio We was in Debbie Allen's studio every day for like 8 to 10 hours for a month, choreographing this show. I'm choreographing crew numbers, solo numbers, battle numbers. We choreographing the hell out of that movie. I mean, I'm going in one room. I'm in one room. Dave Scott's in another room. Rob Huffman in another room, and I'm going to another story too. And I'm going in. I remember walking into the room and I'm thinking to myself, like, Dave Scott's a genius. I said, I'm watching him choreograph a number. And it's the coldest thing. I'm like, this is crazy, Dave. He's like, yeah, I know. Da da da. So I go back in. I choreograph another number of my name of my piece, and then I walk back in, and I see another number that's colder than the last one. And he kept doing that, and I didn't understand it. And I hear people say, like, Shane, you good though. You do some dope stuff. You so creative. I hear that, but I guess I didn't understand what they were saying until I saw him do it. And I'm watching, I'm like, this boy is crazy. So, but one of the things that pissed me off was I choreographed a number. It was a lock-in number. And I had the sickest poppers in this number. And I remember Chris came in, Dave came in, and a couple other people came in. And they was like, all right, let us see it. And it fucking blew their minds. It was so cold that they all walked out the room. They was like, Shane, come here. I was like, what? I walked out there, it was like, and I was like, what? It was like, we want to use this number on another crew. I said, huh? Yeah, we want to use this number on another crew, if you don't mind. I was like, I do mind. This is my choreography. I was like, I know. And then on top of that, this is what they said. This was the rumor. I didn't choreograph it. They were saying somebody else choreographed it. I'm thinking to myself, like, how are you going to hire me to be in a room with 10 dancers to choreograph something, and then you come in there to see my work, you say I didn't do it? Who did it? I mean, this is just what happens when you're around dope dancers. It might have been a dancer that came up to me and said, yo, Shane, check this out. And if it's dope, I'll be like, yo, check this out. And then I'll vibe off that. But I choreographed the number, you know what I mean? And it was probably one or two moves that the person showed me. And I remember that. I can't think of his name right now. Flowmaster. Flowmaster was in that number because boom, wow, jumping to the floor, boom, come up shooting the guns and stuff like that. You don't even see, the number was so cold, you don't even see the number that much in the movie. They kind of like camouflage it in some other what do you call it? Montage type stuff. They put it in stuff like that. Now, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, they should have showed that number because that's one of the sickest numbers I did. But they didn't do it. But he was the one who said, yo, Shane, check this out, da 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 da. And I was like, oh, check this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a domino effect to what you just did. And we're going to do this. So they lock, drop to the butt, all turn around. It was so sick that they was just like, oh, we need to use this. But it was another time where I stood my ground. I fought for my own. And it stayed in the movie. It stayed in my choreography. But you know, they didn't really show too much of it. And just for the people who don't know, when I choreographed that movie, I was choreographing the losing numbers. Think about that, okay? My numbers were choreographed specifically to lose, you feel me? The other numbers were supposed to win. So when you see our numbers going against each other, sometimes you don't know who won. But I had to water a lot of my stuff down because of that, because it couldn't be better. Not saying that I'm better than the choreographer, but it couldn't be better than the number that he was doing. You feel me? So I had to make sure that it was not that dope, okay? Even though the movie was sick as fuck. Okay. Yo, check it out. I want to tell y'all about a battle that happened on set, okay? The crews were battling, and there's a scene in the movie where Columbus Short and Omarion are dancing together. In the movie, in the script, the crews are supposed to go and they do their thing and they battle and they're like, oh, okay, the winner is. So that scene that you see with Omarion and Columbus Short, where Columbus is in his face doing his thing and then Omarion does a backflip, that's real. They was hyped. They was too hyped to stop, and they kept it in the movie, and I love them for that. It's another scene too that I want to talk about. I wasn't there every day of the shoot, and there's one scene in there I remember when one of the crews at the end battle, when the scene went into slow motion, and it was real time. Like, I didn't see that until I saw the movie. I didn't see that part until I saw the movie. And I remember thinking like, whoa, that's a dope effect. And then Dave came to me and said, no, that's real time. So it's little things in that movie that was so special to me and so cold to me that changed the game. And I appreciate that movie. Going back to Billy Polina, Yeah, Billy was the one who called me up and told me, like, Shane, stand your ground. And I stood my ground. I got my credit. And if you look at that movie, you will see it says choreography, Dave Scott, Shane Sparks. And I'm very proud of that every time I watch that movie, every time it comes up. And when I'm sitting with somebody and they see my name, they be like, that's you. And I'm like, yep, that is me. You Got Served went on to be one of the biggest movies, biggest dance movies in the world to me. And it was probably one of the best gigs I ever had, from all the people that I met, all the creativity that I was able to express through all these dancers that I was with. And it just gave me respect. It set the tone for the rest of my life, whether you know it or not, because I'm going to go into another story. But it set the tone because a man came to me with an English accent and he said, I want the choreographer who choreographed the movie You Got Served. You know what that was for? So you think you could dance. I'll see y'all next time. Me, myself, and dance. Shane Sparks, and I'm out.